Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be game 11, and I hope you guys have been enjoying all the last games I've been casting. This is going to be a Protoss versus Terran matchup, and it is going to be on the same map that we saw from our very first game, which is Scrapyard. Pretty interesting map. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the overlay on units. And my opponent here talking about Void Ray rushing. And that's actually something that's very popular with Protoss players these days, going for a fast Void Ray rush because it's seemingly so powerful, and at the same time it does a lot of damage to all those buildings, and it can take down a lot of buildings really quickly. And as this guy is saying, it's the new thing. So we'll see if I go for a Void Ray rush this game. There's a cool feature about this map which I haven't been able to exploit yet, but if you get stalkers and you get research blink, you can actually blink from here to the middle island between the two bases, and then from there you can blink down into the enemy's base. So that's a pretty cool feature that you can exploit if you're Protoss. And of course, if you guys have been paying attention to the updated patch notes, Terran recently has just gotten a wide range of buffs from the barracks being produced more quickly, and the tech lab and reactor being produced more quickly, to just a whole bunch of different things. So Terran has been receiving considerable favor from Blizzard, and at the same time Protoss not quite as much. And grabbing the enemy's gas there. So this game I'm actually going to be stealing the enemy player's gas, and it's actually a pretty cool tactic that you can do, especially versus Terran these days, simply because Terran versus Protoss requires the Bionic build, and Bionic means that not only do you get Marines, but you get the new M&M, which means Marines and Marauders, and without gas you're not getting any Marauders at all. And my opponent here is overreacting, bringing all of his SCVs off the line. I'm not sure if this is the wisest choice, showing right there how much he really wants that gas, I suppose, but this is not the greatest idea, because look at how much minerals he's got. He's not got that much. Only 95 minerals, so I don't know how wise that is. Anyways, what I wanted to say is, and actually right here I'm going to try to steal the gas again. That's why I'm hanging my probe around. Let's see if I can get it. And my opponent doesn't build another Rax, so I'm going to slap on the assimilator yet again. My opponent once again denied the gas he needs. And what I wanted to say before I started stealing the gas is that Protoss players have not been receiving any favor from Blizzard. They've actually been receiving the Nerf bat, getting hit hard in the head 2 patches in a row now. The mothership has been nerfed once again. Its movement speed is basically horrible. And the gateways have actually had a build time increase, which means they take longer to build. So Blizzard has really not been giving any love to Protoss, and been at the same time basically taking everything from the Protoss and giving it to the Terrans instead. And you guys can see my probe here just chilling out at the top, ready to steal the gas yet again. Before the action gets too much kicking into high gear, I just wanted to say a little bit about Husky Starcraft. And if you guys have been subscribed to me for a while, you guys probably know all about him. But basically, he's another commentator, and there I am stealing the gas again. My opponent there must be so angry after taking that gas and then realizing it just got jacked again. But what I wanted to say is Husky Starcraft is a fellow commentator of mine. He does the same exact thing I do, basically. And he casts a lot of games in Starcraft 2. He's actually, I consider, a better player than I am. And so if you guys aren't getting enough Starcraft 2 beta videos, enough from me at least, feel free to check out his channel. It is youtube.com/Husky Starcraft. And so getting back to this game, you guys can see that I've once again rejacked the assimilator. That is about 3 times now. My opponent has no gas whatsoever. He is heavily behind. And I've also got Zealots knocking on his front door, which is kind of cool because it's distracting the Marines from what they really need to do, which is destroy this assimilator. Because at this point in the game, looking at my base, I've already got 2 assimilators up, probes mining from each one, and I've even got my robotics facility coming down, so I'm way ahead in terms of the tech tree right now. And actually wanted to say something. The game mode should be at faster. And that's actually something that Husky told me. recently. So I apologize for all the replays I've been doing at fast. I've just set it to faster. I just remembered. But basically, Husky told me that, yeah, it's supposed to be faster, not fast. So I apologize for the misinformation before. You guys might think, oh wow, well everything's moving so fast now. That's just because you guys are used to fast, which is my fault, for watching replays at least. But this is the actual game speed that players play at. The difference is subtle, but it is there. And so we see the Terran player actually moving out with a huge squad of Marines, and if I had not denied the gas from him, he would have definitely had a tech lab out by now, and probably a reactor core right here, and he would have been pumping out Marauders. And luckily for me, he has no Marauders to speak of, and so I'm at a huge advantage right now. I would even say that in terms of Protoss versus Terran, Terran is definitely on the better side of the field right now. They seem to be a bit more powerful. So it's a good thing that I denied my opponent that gas, otherwise I wouldn't be moving out with this force right here. And here I am, this first Stalker is actually going to get taken out, getting charged in first. And as I said before, Stalkers, they move faster than Zealots and everything else, so that tends to occur a lot. And the reason why I have a Sentry Ward is the Guardian Shield, which will actually reduce all range damage by 2. Very, very good against Terran, seeing as how all their units do ranged, minus the Hellion. My opponent here, a bit concerned, knows that he doesn't have those Marauders out yet. He just now got his tech lab, so his first Marauder is building, and so he's going to get a bunker to help defend. You guys can see while I'm pushing, of course, grabbing my Nexus at the natural. Also have my warp gates out and warping in a warp prism, which is a cool new unit. I'm going to talk a little bit about it in a second. I just wanted to say that the Immortal is the definitive counter to Marauders as well as siege tanks. But very good against Marauder. Does extra damage to Marauders, like something like 50 damage to a Marauder. And it actually takes more than 3 Marauders to kill a single Immortal, so they're very good against Marauders. But at the same time, very weak to Marines. Anyways, what I wanted to say about the Phase Prism. The Phase Prism is a very cool new unit, replaces the shuttle. It can load up units inside of it, just like the shuttle or dropship. And actually a battle going on here, so I activate my Guardian Shield. And the Marines realizing the Guardian Shield's up, and I have a superior force, they're going to back out. But what I wanted to say about the shuttle, the Warp Prism, excuse me, has a phasing mode. Once you activate that, it deploys pylon power around it, which allows my warp gates to warp in units. So it's a very, very effective unit on the battlefield. And it's actually so powerful, I think, that I'm going to start using it in all my Protoss games. Every single major Protoss army should have a warp prism with it, because when you engage, you can activate the warp prism for pylon power and then use your warp gates back home to bring in reinforcements to the battlefield quickly without having to wait for them to walk all the way from your base. So extremely powerful unit the warp prism is. And you guys can see I'm bringing in more units. I'm hiding in this smoke right here where my opponent can't see me. And there's actually one thing about the Immortals that are kind of funny. They remind me a lot about those droids from Star Wars, like the Clone Wars or whatever. That, you know, except they don't roll, but they definitely remind me of their shape, their model, and the fact that they have those shields. Just